Pig, 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 pig post.
Us pigs want to pay respect and tribute to the original custodians of this land that we are recording this on today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation.
This is and always will be Aboriginal land. Now, Betty.
Candy. Welcome
to
Pig Post
with your hosts, Candy Royalle
and Betty Grumble.
Betty, would you like to tell the audiences at home why we're here?
Well, Candy, the reason why we've chosen the sacred pig as our mascot and become pig girls ourselves is because of a little-known Andy Warhol film called Women in Revolt. And in that film, the women were pigs, politically involved girls. But today, we're going to be
Politically
intense girls.
And politically intense girls are unafraid and courageous, brave enough to speak out and to try to affect change wherever possible.
Let's tell them about the secret pig chant.
Oh yes, so we are trying to gather women and their allies together to start making noises whenever anything negative is happening, whenever a negative interaction with a male identifying individual is happening. For example, if you find yourself being catcalled or harassed on the street or, touched in a club, you can do this. And if you find that actually that isn't working and the sisters don't come running, because the point is, it's going to become an international cry for support from allies, right? And if you find that it's not working, it's perhaps because people haven't heard you. And so you need to take it to the next level. If the harassment doesn't stop and you still need support, please do this.
We are declaring this pig post as the beginning of the rally cry, the galvanizing of us pigs, us politically intense girls, and we are rising up against
patriarchy, violence against women, racism,
and boringness.
So boring.
Well, since we don't have any mail because it's the first one, we've written to ourselves, and we've got a little event that's happened that we wanted to interrogate, and that is why we're giving the refugees to America.
It's madness.
We feel like us and our mates, anyway, really share this idea that they are humans and they should be treated the same way we would expect to be treated if we were seeking refuge. And it's bamboozling to us pigs that Australia isn't held accountable for what is surely illegal.
And really violations against the most basic human rights. They wanted to stop the boats because they said that they believed in human rights. Well, how about this? The fact that refugees were murdered on Nauru. Murdered, they were killed, they committed suicide, this level of self-harming. People who are treated well don't do that. The question is, did we not have enough space here, Betty?
Australia is a very small country. There is no space here.
We are overpopulated.
There is no abundance.
1,000,
quality
Betty.
of life.
1,000 people.
What
would we do with
There's
them?
not even 1,000 people at a Jimmy Barnes concert, What are we going to do as Australians?
Yeah.
No, but they scare me. They're brown.
Brown people.
You're brown. Why didn't anybody tell me that Candy Royalle is brown?
Is it that we don't have enough heart, Betty Grumble? Do we not have enough heart to have welcomed these individuals, these families, these women, children, and men who could have become incredibly important parts of the fabrication of this nation?
I think about the heart stuff because I don't want to believe that people are full of hate or disdain for others. I think they've been manipulated by a media that's telling them, that's educating them in a language of hate and fear and othering.
Murdoch! What has happened is a travesty. It is a shame, a scourge upon this nation, because we could have been lovers, not murderers. This country is one of the wealthiest countries on earth. One of the wealthiest. We have so much money, and true, it is concentrated to a very small amount, and they are the ones that need to be held accountable, not vulnerable individuals fleeing conflict. Because, you know, I wouldn't run if there was a gun at my head, if my house had been bombed, if my children were at risk. I wouldn't run if they were going to try and recruit me into their armies. I wouldn't run if there were invading forces. No, I'd sit in my house and I would die, and I would watch my family die as I had already watched my neighbors die, and my extended family die. That's what I'd do. What would you do?
No, but it's true. Everything's true.
Yeah.
That you were saying. I overheard two construction workers talking together, and one guy was very ethnic looking. He may have been Arab, and the other guy was this white guy who's going, nah, mate, it's not natural. Like, the zebras don't look after the crocodiles, and like, this is just the way it is, and it's not up to us to take on the responsibility of like what just happens to be happening across in another country.
And you know what I say to that? Haven't we evolved? And also, people who say it's always been that way, that is hugely problematic, because first of all, again, it goes back to that whole, don't you want to evolve? Don't you want to change? Isn't it fatalistic? You know, has your family always existed in one particular way? Haven't your people evolved? Like, you know, don't all people evolve?
Yeah.
Can't we evolve?
I feel like we could evolve. Humans, society could.
Yes.
Human liberation.
Of course we can. No, that takes...
But people are resisting it. Are they doing it deliberately? Is it
Fear.
in the best interest
Fear.
of the oligarchy to keep...
Fear. It all comes down to fear.
I don't want to be scared.
Why, Betty, do you think that our fellow Australians, many fellow Australians, not all, but many, didn't want refugees here?
Illegal asylum seekers.
Illegal asylum.
Queue
jumpers.
The queue jumpers.
Why didn't they want the queue jumpers here?
I think that there is a history in the land of Oz. There's a genocidal beginning, and there is white supremacy and self-loathing as well, and post-colonial guilt that is going on, that is feeding into this continuation of othering people. What are they different? They're culturally different. Their skins are different colour. That is so threatening to our identity. And I also think that Australia is such a strange place, because it's such a beautiful and rich country and is diverse. But I feel like people go, I don't know what I am, but I know what I'm not, and I'm not that. So I don't want that. So I think there's a lack of self-love, because and insecurity, in order to have that much hate.
So Betty.
Yes, Candy?
I believe the way forward, anger plus compassion plus tolerance plus love equals
the future.
Would you like to join us? Join us at Pig Post in changing the world, affecting true change through direct action and civil disobedience. Do you have some ideas about how we can achieve this? Do you want to know more? Do you want to share? Do you want to share? Do you want to live? Do you want to love? Then you have to email us.
Email us at
pigpostgirls@gmail.com.
That's pigpostgirls@gmail.com.
Pig, 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 pig post.
Pig! You're a pig!